are you today, Mayor?
Doing fine. Doing fine, Joe. How about you?
Doing well, thank you. Looking forward to this great last gasp of summer this week that we're going to experience.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 70s, I guess, later in the week.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Absolutely. It'll probably...
We haven't put the heat on yet at that house, so we're holding out.
Holding out? It's been chilly in the night times. Multiple layers of blankets, for sure. It was a nice day on Sunday, too, for the ribbon cutting of the De Cristofaro Early Learning Center.
It was indeed. It was really a wonderful turnout. And, of course, my favorite guest was to see Dr. De Cristofaro's mother, Betty, 97 years old, young. And she was so happy and so proud of her son. It was really cool.
Yeah, it's great to see Betty at all these events. She's still so active at the Kennedy Center, too, so always happy to see her there, too.
She's amazing.
For folks who aren't aware, if you could explain a little bit about what the center is.
Sure. Back in 19, we talked about, and then we moved ahead and purchased the site, which ENC had owned. Originally, it was the Howard Johnson's. I think it was the Taffy Candy Factory many, many years ago. So the site was up for sale. Some developers were looking at it, and they're trying to put way too much in there. And then we thought about it, right behind Central Middle School. And really, we send a lot of kids out on special needs programs. We said, let's take a look at whether we can do that in-house. And so, obviously, there was a lot of meetings and a lot of discussion, dialogue. This thing became far more complicated than I first thought looking at it, quite frankly. However, it was certainly worth the endeavor, and we ended up using about $15 million of federal money towards the entire building, which really was very helpful for the taxpayers of Quincy. But having said that, we're going to be able to keep numbers of kids who we would be transferred out on a bus, maybe an hour and a half on a bus, and then in a private facility, and then an hour and a half back. So I think for families, now we can't take everybody, Joe. There's certainly special needs and challenges that some people have, some kids have, that we cannot meet the demands of those challenges. However, there's a number of them we can. With the right facility, which we now have, the place is incredible. It really is amazing. Kevin Molly, the superintendent, and Deputy Superintendent Aaron Perkins, and Aaron's background with special needs, they really jumped into this with the school department team, worked with the architects and the OPM and Paul Hines' team, and they did an incredible job. So it's state-of-the-art with all the technology for that population. So now going forward, we'll begin the process of bringing families through, and they still make the decision themselves as a family which way they want to go. And I got to believe that once people see this facility, and once we start to staff it up, that they're going to want to keep their child back home here in Quincy. So, and the other benefit long-term, Joe, quite frankly, is over time we will save money. Even after funding the debt service and the staffing of the building, the cost for sending some of these kids out is extremely expensive between the transportation and the tuition. So in the end, we focused on this will be a school for students with autism, and we know that that's a huge challenge today. That wasn't around when we were kids, at least we didn't know of it, but certainly is prevalent today. So I think it's a good move from the city. I thank my colleagues on the school committee. I thank the city councilors for passing it, the original appropriation, and certainly, we had a great day. I thank Congressman Lynch and the federal delegation for the federal money. Speaker Mariano, who grew up with Rick De Cristofaro, spoke Sunday as well. And, again, it was a collaborative effort, and I'm grateful to everybody involved. This is going to have great implications in a positive way for the families of our city.
Is this unique for a municipality to offer this type of learning center, Mayor? Do you know?
I believe it could be the only one. We're actually trying to do some research now to determine that.
Yeah.
Kind of an outlier. And I'm not really sure why others haven't tried it. But I also know the demand, and for example, we're in the process of building a new Squantum Elementary School. I know that districts are focused on their current buildings and trying to get those up to par, so that could be part of it. I'm not really clear, but I don't know 100% sure, but right now, as I understand, we could be the first municipality to do this.
Well, now is there an adequate staffing for this new center?
Yes. Well, first of all, we're going to be moving the kids over from Dela Chiesa. That population will come over with that staff. and we've got time now to ramp up because we'll begin the process of private tours of these families. Then there'll be a robust summer program, and then next September it'll be open fully. So it's not like they flip a switch and it happens overnight. But so we're going to have time to staff this building up, and we've actually got a lot of calls, Joe, from people with this background because of it's Quincy. They know the commitment we have to our school budget, and they know of the building that we built that is state of the art. So they want to be part of this. So I don't think we're going to have trouble staffing it.
Yeah, was there? I know there was a virtual meeting last night for some of the families. How did that go?
I wasn't on that.
Okay.
I'm sure it went well. I know that there's been a lot of excitement with the QPAC people, the folks that serve on that subcommittee, and there's a lot of interest and excitement about it.
And we'll be looking forward to seeing the first students, I'm sure. It's a very sensory, engaging, tactile facility. I've been through it, and it really heightens the senses for sure.
Absolutely, and it's really geared for that population. The layouts, the colors, the graphics, all of it, which makes perfect sense. And it really is. It has a warm feeling to it. And that's even before you put the staff in there. So I think it's going to provide great service to families for generations to come.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit, Mayor, about the future of the Quincy Center MBTA station and maybe an announcement coming soon about that?
Yes. Well, I know we've talked about it before, Joe,
Yep.
but the legislature, through the leadership of our Speaker, Ron Mariano, had put in $50 million 2 consecutive years toward the reconstruction of the Quincy Center Station. As we looked at the station with the T and with the developer that was designated a couple of years ago, we quickly learned, particularly the T learned, that there was too much work needed to be done on the station to put on the developer. I mean, it's one thing if there was $10 million of improvements and the developer absorbed that as part of the project, but when you're looking at $100 million, that's way out of what the norm would be. So the T recognized that, but they said they didn't have the money. We then lobbied and got the money in there, so now it's under design. And part of that will be to move the busway from the Hancock Street side to the Bergen side, literally rebuild the station, new busways, get everything out of the weather, and just make the place far more efficient and cleaner and prettier, I certainly would hope, because that shouldn't take much than what's there today. So it's exciting. We begin the design phase, and I'm sure there'll be more to talk about in the coming weeks.
Big question is, will the station have to be shut down like the Wollaston one was to rebuild it?
That is a good question, and one of the beauties is you got a commuter rail station there as well. Mm-hmm. So there's pretty good length of that platform that my guess is they wouldn't have to, but as they proceed with the design and go into the next level, that's a decision that I'm not prepared to say right now. I just don't know what they'll recommend. We'll see what happens.
Sure. Will there be other developments, such as the Abbey up at North Quincy?
There will be development, but this has to happen first.
Okay.
It's tricky working over the tracks, and this part of it has got to be done before anything else can be done. Yeah. And by the way, by moving the busway on the other side, that then frees up space on the Hancock Street side, which is where you want it, for the development going forward. So that has to happen first.
Yeah. Is that the full price tag, the $100 million? Will that cover the cost of the station rebuilding?
That's our understanding, correct.
Okay.
Now, you go into these projects and you never know. They could find some other issues. We'll see what happens.
Right. It's not that old. It's early 70s, I think, when it first opened.
The late 60s, early. I think it might have opened in 70 or 71.
Yeah.
But it was the day it opened, it wasn't pretty. I mean, these big concrete structures, and so it's in tough shape. It's of course the ADA part of it as well is another challenge. So there's a lot more that goes into a station today than back in '70. So I think the other thing I reminded my colleagues on, and I have a board of directors meeting this morning with the MBTA, is you're literally 100 yards from the presidents and their wives. And, we certainly think we deserve something better than what's there today.
Just quickly, Mayor, I know that the Historical Commission was meeting about demolishing the buildings downtown to make way for the new developments there. Do you know how that went?
I don't. No, I don't. The buildings in the old dollar store and the Taekwondo, and they're on the list because probably their age. I don't think there's anything pretty about those buildings. So it is just because they fall into the district. You have to go through the motions.
Okay, but that's for the Akari development, and then is there one other one as well?
Yes, I don't know which ones were on last night. I assume the Akari and the city ones. I don't know that the Slater one was on last night's meeting.
Okay.
Which is the arcade building, but again, they're 1-2-story buildings that because they're in the district, they fall into that category. But I don't think there's any clamoring to say those buildings for any particular architectural or use reason.
Yeah. Next time we talk, it'll be Halloween, Mayor.
That's scary.
Yes, it is. The older I get, the scarier it gets, too.
Well, let's hope it's good weather for the kids.
Absolutely. I want to remind folks that the Quincy High School Drama Club is hosting their Haunted Hallways trick-or-treating for the youngsters tomorrow, actually, so that's always a lot of fun.
Very good.
Good to talk to you, Mayor. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Joe.
Take care.